Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I am just going to do a quick quarterly reads wrap up. In other words, we're at the very first day of April when I'm making this video. And as it is April 1st when I'm making the video, we have completed January through March, obviously. So I just thought I would throw out my stats to you guys. And when I do that, I will import some images and even a video I think I might try to squeeze in here. Now, for January, I did really good. In fact, let me get to the next page because I'm not going to read any of that. In January, I was able to read 51 books. So, at the beginning of January, or should I say at the end of December, on Goodreads, I set my reading goal for 2022 to be 600 books. Because the last 2 years, my goal was 500. The previous year, I read over, I want to see I do have that here. Let me give you my stats. 2019, when I started tracking on Goodreads, I read 365 books. In 2020, I read, it's a little hard to see because I printed it on black and white to save ink. I read 625 books in 2020. 2021, I read 584, so I figured, hey, I can do 600 for 2022. However, at the end of January, I fell into one of my deeper depressions. I even had to be hospitalized. So because of that, I thought I needed to be a little bit kinder to myself. So I lowered my goal to 400. Now, my intention is to keep it at 400 through the end of August. If indeed I get close to 400 between September and December of 2022, then I'll raise it to 500 or 600. But for the first 9 months of this year, I am intentionally keeping it at 400. Even let's say I get to 400 in May, which I won't, but I'm just being random. So that's my Goodreads goal and the reason why I felt it was necessary to change it. So as I mentioned, I did really good in January. I read 51 books. And I decided to incorporate key stats that reflect my reading. So, for the 51 books in January culminated to 16,081 pages. So if you were to average 16,081 pages divided by 31 days, although I was in hospital so I didn't read for like 4 days, but it's still, if you divide it by 31 days, then it comes up to 519 pages per day. If you take 16,081 pages and you divide it by 51 books, it averages to 315 pages per book. So January was a great month. As far as my posting was concerned, in my actual where I got the sources of the books, 38 of those were NetGalley titles in January. On NetGalley, I put 21 reviews in. So you see the discrepancy between 38 read and 21 NetGalley reviews. But I balanced that out. I balanced those numbers out this month, in the month of March. On my blog, I was able to make and post 31 blog posts. And so that was how my January went. Now, as I am talking about my months, there's going to be images popping up on the screen. When I edit it. Now, I just picked one favorite book for each month. I could probably pick between 2 and 4. Now, I'm going to give you an example. For January, I'll say my favorite book was The Dust Bowl Orphans by Suzette D. Harrison. But then I could easily say that The Honeymoon Cottage by Laurie Foster was a favorite. I could very easily say that, There's other ones here that were really, really good. Jeb's Wife by Patricia Johns. I love Patricia Johns. But like I said, we're just trying to grab one all-time favorite for the month, okay? So, as we move into February, and again, you'll see an image pop up, I went half, okay? I only read, and actually I went less than half, because I only read 22 books in February. So from 51 to 22 is, about 60%. I lost a lot of my reading. Now, in February, my stats were, as I said, 22 books read, and the pages for February were 7,224. So mental health is very, very, very serious. Now, if I was able to read over 16,000 pages in 1 month, in the very next month, a little over 7,000, you can definitely see where my depression was paramount. Nonetheless, I was able to, of those 22 books, 21 of those were NetGalley titles. And all 21 of those did get reviewed on NetGalley for February. Coincidentally, I also had 21 blog posts. So it was a lower month, but at least I was able to get those things done. Now, in January, I said that I did 519 pages a day. Well, in February, I did 258 pages a day. So about half of my reading. My page per book was about the same, 325 to 328 average, because I could have, say, a 224 page book and a 496 page book, but when you factor in all the pages per book, that's your average. Now, what did I say my favorite book for February was? This one, hands down, was A Life for a Life by Carol Wire. But when I look at this list, do I want to say something else? Her Betrayal by Emma Talon. That jumps out at me. Yeah, I'll just say those two. Those jump out at me. Place to Call Home by Lizzie Page was really good. I think it's the second in a historical fiction series, and I believe I have the third book coming up in a month or two, so I'm glad about that. And my least favorite for that month was P.S. I Hate You by Sophie Renaud. And something else I wasn't crazy about, but I didn't put my ratings on this. So that was my February. And then as we move into March, things started off really slow. That first week, I think I read 4 books. That second week, I read maybe 7 or 8 books. But by around the 11th or 12th, my reading mojo came back. It just came back. Snapped like that. It came back. So I read 37 books in March compared to the 22 that I read the previous month. So instead of reading 7,000 pages, I was able to read over 12,000. In fact, 12,243 pages. So March was much, much better. Like I said, especially more like the second half of March. Now, I cross-stitch all the time, every day for hours and hours. But I took a day off of cross-stitching, which was Tuesday the 29th. I was just looking at my planner. And on the 29th, I dedicated all of that day and most of the 30th, which is just a few days ago, to catching up on blog posts and book reviews that had slipped through the cracks. So in so doing, of that 37 books, first we'll talk about my NetGalley titles. That was 22. Then I'm also working on my print arcs, so I was able to read 10 of those. And that's my goal, is to try to read between 5 and 10 print arcs every single month. Now, in this endeavor to catch up and to find the missing reviews, whether it was writing, cross-posting, linking, I was able to post 40 NetGalley reviews in March, and on my blog, 50 blog posts. Okay? Now, I have read 3 books since the end of March. I know it's only April 1st, but I've read a few books, so I still have a couple more posts that I can put up, but we'll count them for April. Now, Not only did I get my reading mojo back, I got my YouTube mojo back. So I went from posting, say, 4 or 5 videos a month, or months where I didn't post any videos at all, to posting 66 YouTube videos this past month of March. We're just talking about March. Of those 66, 36 were either book reviews or book discussion videos like recent reads, TBRs, when I thought I was going to do the March Mystery Madness. So I got my YouTube channel, nice and hefty, and I like that. Now, choosing my favorite book for March is super, super hard. And the reason I say it's so hard is because I read a bunch of nonfiction arcs. So I'm going to give you a list of names. The first one is Love People, Use Things by Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. Okay? But then we can talk about The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall. Or we can talk about, let's see, I'm looking at February. I need to bring March back. Those just came to the top of my head, but I just want to get... Okay. Other books that really stood out. The Stepchild by Nicole Trope. That was really a good book. And then we have The Villa by Claire Boyd. Very, very touching book with kind of a very unusual, I want to say scenario or plot line. I'll use the word plot line. I also was able to read Desperation in Death by J.D. Robb, which doesn't come out until September. Then there was Healthy Heart, Healthy Brain by Drs. Bale and Doneen, and I learned about the Bale-Doneen method. Then there was Finding Freedom by Erin French. Yeah, I think March was probably one of my best months, and will be one of my best months. Camilla Knows Best was a Friends to Lover story by Farrah Heron. That was excellent. Anything else? Oh, The Black Agenda by Anna Gifty-Opoku Ajiman. That was a good one. Run, Rose, Run by James Patterson and Dolly Parton. Yeah, March was the month, wasn't it? The Family Holiday by Shalini Boland. Yeah, that was my March. That was my March. That was a good reading month. I can only hope that April, May, June, and so forth will be just as good. So, those are all the stats and, the images that I'm going to throw up. And I think there's going to be a point when I think after this, after I get done talking, I'll put something at the very end of this video. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something at the end of this video, a little visual, something visual for this March quarterly wrap-up, this quarterly wrap-up video. And I will do a video like this again at the end of June, and at the end of September, and at the end of December. And then, meanwhile, today is Friday, so my recent reads won't take place until Monday. So I've already read maybe 7 or 8 books that will go into that video. So there's going to be a lot of content on this channel. And I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you if you've subscribed. If not, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. I need that like button, because when you hit that like button, my videos will start to become recommended videos. So please help me out with that. I want to thank you for your time, and I will be back with more soon. Bye-bye.